All right. Hi, everybody, and welcome. Thank you for joining our dynamic commissioning overview webinar today. We're going to be talking about all things dynamic commissioning, how to set up these variable commissioning payouts for publishers. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bailey Redding. I'm an account manager here at Rakuten. And the agenda for today's webinar will cover all things dynamic commissioning. We're going to talk about best practices, use cases, how does dynamic commissioning work, commissioning lists, reporting. We'll be doing a live demo at the end, setting up an actual offer with dynamic commissioning, with a commissioning list. And then we'll definitely leave some room for Q&A as well. As we're going through, if you have a question, you can submit it at any time during the presentation. To do this, we'll just use the Q&A feature on Zoom. So you'll click that button that says Q&A in the bottom right corner of your screen and submit. You may choose to submit anonymously or with your name, and then we'll review all questions at the end of the presentation. So just go ahead as you're thinking about them, stick them in there and we'll review it at the end. Also, just a heads up, this session is being recorded. It'll be sent out to you and anybody who's registered after the event. The deck I'm going to go over today is a little bit wordy, just an FYI, but really the main thinking behind that is we want this to be a resource for you to be able to refer back to that has all of the information. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to do a little intro about our agency services team, and then I'll jump into this deck and we can get going. So first up, Carrie Pierce. Carrie, he's currently the Director of Agency Services. He's been working for Rakuten for over 7 years. Prior to helping agencies and advertisers be successful on our network, Carrie did actually work at an affiliate agency himself. He's located in Florida. He has a deep love of all things Star Wars and can usually be seen wearing some kind of Hawaiian shirt. So you'll definitely have to check those out. Next up, we have our newest member of our team, Aliza Hawkins. Aliza is an account strategist. She joined our team at the end of last year. She's newer to affiliate and has jumped in head first. She has a background in real estate and counseling, and she lives with her family in Los Angeles and definitely can be found at the beach most weekends. And then for those of you who don't know me, my name is Bailey Redding. I've been in the digital marketing space for around 8 years. I've been a member of the Rakuten agency team for the last 1.5 years. I also am experienced in both kind of the agency side and client side account management, with experience working for an affiliate agency, managing programs, working directly with brands prior to shifting now to work on the network side. And I live in Colorado with my husband and my 2 kids and my French bulldog, whose name is Ruby. So I'm going to jump right in here, starting with dynamic commissioning. I'm going to go into the agenda like I talked about. We're going to go over what is dynamic commissioning, best practices, how does it work, commissioning lists, transaction data fields, the Q&A, all of that. All right, dynamic commissioning. What does that mean when we talk about that? When we say dynamic commissioning, what do we mean? So basically, this is a strategy that allows you to pay out different variable commission payouts to publishers on different elements. Whatever's important to your advertiser, you can set up and you can pay out on. Really, the benefits behind this are, 1, you can gain control over costs. So if, for example, there are some high margin items and some low margin items that your advertiser cares about, you can specifically set out a payout that's going to have a higher payout for these and a lower payout for these. So really, it starts to maximize your ROAS. It'll help you support campaign objectives. So what that means is you can pinpoint like key KPIs or like key things that your advertiser really cares about. And then you can create a custom strategy, a custom objective. So as the agency, it will allow you to offer optimizations to your program. It'll help you give that incremental spend to your advertiser. And then you can use this as a really good strategy. And then it will incentivize your publishers because they'll be able to have transparency into how your commission structure is set up. They'll know, hey, they're going to pay me more on these specific SKUs or these specific products. So I want to create my promotions around that so that I can get higher commissions. Or I know that they're paying more on customer status or they're paying more on whatever it is. So it really allows you to have that additional level of transparency around your commission structure with your publishers. And then it also gives you just additional enhanced reporting, because then you can see those specific parameters, how they're being passed back in the transaction. You'll be able to see that and then adjust your strategy accordingly, depending on which publishers are driving those specific things. So it really is more data driven into the insights that you receive. A couple of use cases. One that we see asked about a lot with a lot of our agency partners is new customer acquisition. So the way that dynamic commissioning is set up is to seamlessly support this. If that is what your advertiser cares about, they care about new customer acquisition, you can have a structure that allows you to offer a higher commission when a publisher drives a new customer. So it does allow you to set that up. And I included a note here because this is something we like to call out. We get a lot of questions about this. Who defines what customer status is with new customers? And that information is being passed to us. It's solely determined by the advertiser. All we're doing is capturing that information and putting it into reporting, putting it into your, when things are being set up. We are not determining that definition at all. So like new, existing, guest, returning customer, however they talk about it, that is defined by the advertiser, not by us. So just something to keep in mind. And then also a really good use case here is cost control, because you can then base a lot of your commission rates on specific margins. So you can work with your advertiser to understand what their setup is, what their budget is, how you can in the affiliate channel really optimize that specifically with this dynamic commissioning. So these are really good opportunities to make sure that you're bringing value to the advertiser, that you are bringing value to the way that you're managing their program. So which transaction data fields are commissionable? So there's a ton. There's like 30 different fields. On the next slide after this, I'm going to actually show all the fields, but I wanted to first highlight the ones that we see most of our agency partners utilizing. Customer status, like we talked about, product category ID, product brand. SKU and product name are actually available at the time of launch to everybody. So if you wanted to go and start utilizing dynamic commissioning today, you could set up different payouts on SKU and different payouts on product name. That's available to everyone. If you want to start utilizing dynamic commissioning based off of customer status or product category ID or product brand, that's something we'll probably have to work with you on. But SKU and product name available at the time of launch. Here's all those transaction data fields I was talking about. So there are a lot of them. I think there's like 30 on here. Depending on what your advertiser cares about, you can set this up. There's coupon code, there's customer status, there's item amount, item status. You can see product brand, product category, profit margin. So depending on what their strategy is, how they'd like to look at costs and look at budget, you can get any of these fields set up to be passed back in the transaction. We can work with you to get any of these set up. And then how does dynamic commissioning actually work? So there's three kind of main pillars with dynamic commissioning. There's commissioning list. That's really important. You create your commission list. There's the offer that you're going to be updating the commissioning list and attaching it to. And then there's kind of the reporting. So there's all these sections that you're going to be able to look into when you're setting up and utilizing dynamic commissioning. What will you see in the dashboard? So you can find dynamic commissioning under the offers tab. So like I mentioned at the end of this, after I go through the rest of the slides, there's only a couple more we're actually going to go through. We're going to do a demo. We're going to actually go in and create an offer, create a commissioning list, see how you attach them together so you can get an idea. It's always better to understand that. But where will you find it? You can find this if you create a new offer. There's an account that's like titled dynamic commissioning. You can click the little radio button and then you can start utilizing it. You'll see this is what it looks like. From the account drop-down menu at the top of the dashboard, you select offers, you click create new offer. It takes you to this page. and then you click to the dynamic commissioning radio button. If you have already existing offers and you're like, I want to start utilizing dynamic commissioning, unfortunately, you cannot edit and add dynamic commissioning to an offer that's already created. You will have to go in, you'll have to create a new offer, you'll have to click that applies to for dynamic commissioning. It's not something that you can go in and change after it's already been set up. That's important to keep in mind. So if you're wanting to get this strategy set up, there is a bit of a lift on the front end. After it's set up though, then it's easy and it's manageable and you can update things, but to get it going, you will have to create new offers and get that started that way. And then how to create a commission list. Ton of words on here. Like I said, I'm not going to go over all of it because that's a lot and we're going to create an actual list in a second. But something to really note here is that it has to be a text file. So the way that our system is set up, the format really matters. You have to have a text file. There can only be one line item per line, and there's a maximum of 10,000 lines in the list. So that is important to note. But if you're doing SKUs, you can just do SKU one right after another. For customer status, you can just do new or existing. Or for product name, you can just do the product name one after another. So that is really important to think about. The way that the offer works is you have to have a commission list tied to your offer. So these two pieces are really important in dynamic commissioning. They work together. They are integral to understand how the process works. Commissioning lists in dynamic commissioning. So something that's important is, hey, I want to look and I want to see what I have set up right now. Like, I don't even know if my advertiser is passing back this information. You could actually review if you navigate to right there to that commissioning list section in the dashboard, and then you do this little view list by drop down menu. Whatever pops up under the view list by is what's available for you to start utilizing. If you come in and you look and you see you only have SKU and product name, that means that's all you have set up. But if you come in and you see you already have all these, the customer status and coupon code and whatever else, that means that that has been set up with your advertisers. So that's really important. That's a good place to check and see to kind of start to understand what's set up for your program. And then once you get these lists going, you can add or remove items at any time. And really important to note too is it will automatically be updated then in any offer that the list applies to. So for example, if you had a list of 10 different SKUs and for the next month, you wanted those 10 SKUs to be able to have a higher commission, you'd set that up, you'd put them on your list, you'd get your offer going. But then after a month, the advertiser changed their mind and now they want to do another 10 different SKUs. All you'd have to do is come into the list and update it here, and then it'll automatically be updated in the offer for you. So like I said, it is a lot of work on the front end, but then after that, it's really easy and manageable to keep up. It's easier for you because you update it once, it changes for you automatically. You don't have to keep going in and changing things. So these commission lists are important. They're important with dynamic commissioning because this is where you set it up. This is where you get it attached to the offer. And this is where you understand what specifically is being passed back to you. So you're able to see that information. Now what I want to do is I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen and I'm going to turn it over to Carrie. And Carrie's going to go through and give us a specific example of how you set this up and how you utilize this.
All righty, perfect. Thank you, Bailey. All right, let me do this. Let's share screen one, I think. There we go. All righty. Hello, everybody. So pretty much everything we just covered, I'm going to go through and do in a live presentation. So our commission list under offers, commission lists. Here we go. Again, this drop down when you come in here is going to show everything you have available. I'm in a test account. I have everything available. You will likely only have two. Again, SKU, product name, everybody's got that. If you have anything extra, that means the advertiser at launch included that as something that they want to have either in reporting or do dynamic commissioning on. So anytime you come onto a new account, I would recommend coming in here, checking to see what is in this commission list dropdown, so that you have a better understanding of where the advertiser's focus is from an optimization and a cost saving standpoint, right? With that all being said, let's go ahead and create a new list. We're going to create a list based off of product. Let's do name. We'll do product name. We've only got a couple here under product name. We're going to create a brand new list. So for product name, what it's going to want me to do is upload a text file. I can name it. I'm going to call it Star Wars because, as Bailey says, I like Star Wars. We're going to call it Star Wars. And now I've got to upload my text list. What's a text list? Open up a .txt file, pull in your list. If the advertiser has provided you in an Excel format, however they provided to you, copy it, put it in here. We're going to do a couple Star Wars products that we have. Let's do a wiki. Let's do it. All right. So we have a couple items that have product names associated with Star Wars in all of our products that we are going to be selling. And they want to have these in a separate list because they're going to be commissioned at a different rate, right? So I'm just going to go ahead and save this as Star Wars. Yep, I want to do that. Here's my field name. Anything with a product name that has anything on that list of Star Wars, I'm going to add that in and create. Those 4 items I just did, I just made a new commission list. That's it. So again, like Bailey had referenced, if you know that you're going to start having a situation where they're going to have certain SKUs, they're going to be non-commissionable, certain product names non-commissionable, or increased commission, or whatever they're going to do in the future, go ahead and create your offers up with something, even if it's gobbledygook in the list. You know you're going to have to change this list down the road. Create your offers with these associated lists. If it's not Star Wars, if it's non-commissionable, if it's out of inventory, whatever the advertiser comes up with, so you have a point of reference that you can come into your lists and understand this is where I need to update on an ongoing basis because that's what this advertiser wants me to do. Create your list associated with it. You can name it whatever you want, have the content in there, and change it as you go. So if we've created our Star Wars list, let's go ahead and create a new offer. That's going to be a dynamic offer based off of our new list. This is going to be our Star Wars products that we've got. We're going to start this now. We're going to end this next month. They're going to run it through then. It's going to be dynamic commissioning. Let's just make this for the day after May the 4th. There we go. So now through May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Some of you got that. Some of you got that. All right. Next, we're going to do a base commission for anything that is not on the Star Wars list. It is going to be 5%. All right. Then we're going to add a rule. It's going to be percentage of sale. It is going to be if it is our product name and it is on the Star Wars list, we're going to pay a commission of 10%. Right? That's what we want to do. From now until after May the 4th, anything sold with Star Wars in that product name is going to get 10%. Everything else is going to get 5%, except they're really persnickety about new customers and they don't care anything about whether it's Star Wars, not Star Wars. All new customers get paid at 12%. So we need to add another rule. If it is in the customer status and it is on the new customer list, we're going to pay a rate of 12. That list literally is a list that says new. Now, again, you need to know what the advertiser is going to be putting in. Like we know what they're putting in for the product name. We know that's going to be on the list of the customer status is new. Then we're going to apply a 12% rate. And there we go. And it says here is, look, rules run from top to bottom. So first it's going to check if it's on the list of Star Wars, then pay 10%. Unless it is a customer status new, it's going to override that, right? So that's how you do it. Most important goes at the bottom of the list. So it's the first then, second then on your if then list. Once you've created this offer, it automatically puts in the 5 to 12 range in the description. This is not for you. This is for your publishers. This is another thing to consider. If you do have some items at 0%, it will show some items are at 0%, but then again, others are at 15%, right? Or whatever that range is. So don't be too concerned having a very low base commission. It's going to be a range. The publisher is going to understand I have a range that I'm working with where I can make some money. So not everything is going to be 1%, not everything is going to be 5%. I can earn up to 12%, right? I know I have some more descriptions and they can dig in and find out. They can see what items would qualify for that, what things they need to optimize for on their end, if they want to. There it is. It's ready to go. I launched the offer. Now, once it's launched, I can go through and invite any of the publishers that want to participate in this. If I made this a public offer, it is now publicly available to anybody in the program, outside the program. All publishers can see it everywhere. Again, private offers are invite only. It's private. Only those publishers I invite to see it can see it and accept it. And that is it. We have created that offer. I know it sounds, the one thing I did want to note though, I want to go, when creating these offers, I'm going to do this real quick so we have a point of reference. We have the dynamic commissioning in all these fields and all these different rules that you can put in there, right? We're going to do our 5. We're going to do the commission type percentage. We're going to add the rule. We're going to do product name again. I did want to note this. There is a lot of functionality we have on here. So we've been talking about lists. That's how most things happen. You may run into situations where you have an advertiser that does, they control what the profit margin is, and they put that in as a numerical value. If it equals 10% or 0.10, these are the things then with your advertisers asking you to do non-commissionable or increased commission, you just need to have an understanding of what they're populating in the fields. You can see this in reporting. All of those items that show up in this commission list are also in reporting. Look and see what's in your commission list. Go run a report and see that by individual item, and an individual item report, add those columns. You can see what's there and then do a match to make sense. Do I need to do this as is on the list? Or remember we did our Star Wars product name? Maybe it's Jedi Pen 24783. So my list would be contains. It contains the product names, probably what we should have done, contains Jedi or contains Padawan or contains Wookiee. So you don't have to have every 500 different variations of the product name. If this item's in the product name and that list contains that portion of it, then it's at that increased commission rate. So I did want to make sure I highlighted this. There's lots of functionality that you have and flexibility on how to optimize for this. But with that being said, I'm going to stop blathering on and on and on and open the floor for any questions anyone might have.
Carrie, can you show us just in reporting too, real quick, how
sure.
they can find this information after they've set it up? Like, for example, with customer status or product name or whatever. Yeah,
the easiest way to do this is an individual item report. We're going to do this. I want to do yesterday. Let's see if we have any data in here. Add in, let's do customer status. Under additional transaction details is where it is. I started to type customer, so I can add in customer status. I can also add, and we were looking at product name. So I started to type product, there's product name. Product name's actually already in there. If there was product category, product brand, anything else we want to add, but let's just do customer status right now. I'm going to get rid of a bunch of extra stuff that I don't really care about. I don't care about the publisher ID. I do want to see total commission. I don't care about the offer. Let's view our report. Let's see if we actually have data from yesterday in our test account. We do. 285 items from yesterday. Woo, test accounts making some sales. And no customer status. Perfect example. Nothing. This is how you would add in that field. So no change in customer status. So that would be, they're only putting in new. We had nobody new that made a purchase yesterday, right? But that's how you would add it. So anything from that commission list. Here's the other little trick for everybody. Right click, open new tab, so you can bounce from tab to tabs in the dashboard. I don't know if somebody right now went, oh my gosh. Go in here and they're going to email you afterwards being like, I totally was that one doing, oh my gosh. You can go in here and do your product name, find out or what you have on your lists, and then go back and then do a search for it. So I see that they have discount type. I can come in here, add the column, add the column, ISC, discount type. There it is. And then I can add that to report. And that would be that example typically would be your numerical value where we would do is equals. There we go. Cool.
And if they want to get this set up, what's the best process to get going with making sure they're passing back customer status or product name or any of that stuff? What should they do?
So first come in, check in your offers and commission lists, see what pops in this drop down. SKU product name will be in there. If it's something else the advertiser is asking about, say, great, we can totally do that, advertiser. Who's the tech person on your team who's going to add this to the tracking data? That's the first question. Marketing would love to have all this data in there. Absolutely. It's a technical situation whether the advertiser's tech team can actually do that for them. Marketing will say yes to everything that you offer for them to look at, to see, to optimize against, to mission against. But it's up to them passing back that data. We don't know what the profit margin is. They know what the profit margin is. We don't know what's in stock, out of stock. We allow them to determine, is this a new customer for them specifically, not a new customer to Ebates, right? So that's the next question that you need to respond back to the advertiser on their end. And send them a list. We can give you that list. It's actually available in the support center. You can go and find all the additional transaction fields. I think it's how we put it in there. Do a search, pull the list, send it over. Here you go, advertiser. Here's everything you've got, whatever your tech team can add into the transaction data. And then once they've identified that tech person, reach out to us. We'll get a tech ticket created. Typically in less than 24 hours, somebody from our team will reach out and say, yes, here's the different fields that they want to add. Here's how you would add them into the code. Let us know once you've done, and then we'll test to make sure we're seeing it. And that's it. Yeah.
So it's not too hard, but it definitely
No.
requires some of that lift on the front end from the advertiser to make sure they can get it set up.
It's really simple from a technical standpoint to set up. The tracking tag's already set up. However, they're sending the data, they just need to add fields and understand where that exists in their database, right? Where is the customer status lying somewhere in our database? Where is the profit margin, the shipping to location, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, and then that's no other questions. So I think that's kind of the end of our presentation today. So we will definitely have this recording available. We're here to help you. Something I wanted to mention too is that we do have an agency partner resources folder on our box folder. It's available to everyone. And inside of that, you can get all the information around any of our trainings we've done, all these templates, all these articles, they'll all live inside there. So if you need us to get you access to that, feel free to reach out and we'll make sure we get you access. But we really appreciate everyone joining our webinar today. Hopefully it was useful, and have a great rest of your Wednesday. Bye.
Thanks, everyone.